Hi, Adam Winch here, Defenders USA. There's our website if you're at all interested, defenders-usa.com or defenders-usa.com. Anyways, this is our schedule. It's growing. I've got to input a whole bunch more courses into this thing, but we're just doing training all the time. In fact, we just finished up this weekend. We did some concealed carry courses and handgun fundamentals and some other shooting stuff with handguns. I think the week before that, we did a bunch of rifle stuff, fighting rifle, and then also handgun stuff, concealed and otherwise. And we just have so much coming up. Anyways, we have a concealed carry course I think is rather unique. Myself and a couple other people in the law enforcement world, and had some help with some attorneys, and we literally custom built a concealed carry course that now we've had thousands upon thousands of people who've gone through that course. And amongst those many, we've probably had 1,000 or 2 in there who've been to other concealed carry courses. And we're grateful to be able to say that we hear this all the time, that the concealed carry course they came to with us is the best they've ever seen. I don't know. I've only been to a few different concealed carry courses out there, and I know there's some good ones. I just know ours is a bit unique. It's extraordinarily in depth, and we find every time, without fail, no matter how much of a gun guy or gun girl somebody is, even instructors for other places, when they come to ours, they oftentimes learn things they've never heard before. So if you ever want to come to ours, whether you've been to one or not, it's worth your time. We'd love to have you. And of course, our gun training too. I mean, it's pretty extensive. Certainly, none of us through Defenders USA, and certainly not me, are not complete experts in everything that we do. We're pretty decent at it, and there's always better people out there. So we're constantly running off and learning from others. I've been through a lot of training recently. Some of the instructors have too. And we're heading off to more training with some of the best in the world we can to try to constantly enhance what we do and make it better and better for you, the student, if you do come. We'd love to have you, by the way. But anyways, here's what I'm trying to say. Instead of talking about the company so much, I just wanted to give you kind of an idea to it. What's the basis and motivation behind carrying a gun, having a concealed carry permit, keeping a gun by the bed at home or in the safe, or just having a gun in general? What's the basis? I'd submit to you and I'd suggest to you that it really should be love, right? Is that not the ultimate, most righteous motivation you could possibly have? In fact, I'd argue to you that if you use a gun in any other capacity, and I'm not talking like hunting and for sport, doing up cool guy gun games just for the fun of it, but I'm talking actually pulling this thing and using that gun that you might have in the defense of life. And also the training for the defense of life, if you had to, should be based and motivated upon love. And if it's not based on that right there, then you are probably in the wrong and legally could be end up deemed the criminal, and you have to go live in a box somewhere, a cage, right? Because it's possibly illegal if it's, and I'd say, argue to you, most likely illegal, certainly not the best, if it's not based on love. It's the only motivation, right, when it comes to guns and defense of life. It's love, right? Even for hunting. I mean, if you're just putting food in the freezer, it's love, right? Taking care of your family, yourself, you're this, you're that. But the same thing too. I carry a gun because, well, I love my family. And I may need to be their defender, right? Defenders USA. I may need to be their defender. In fact, the whole basis and foundation of Defenders USA is love. The training that we offer is truly to help people survive the very worst moments of their lives. Why? Because, well, they love others too, and others love them, and therefore we need the best training we can put into their hands and into their system that we know of, so that they can ultimately survive the fight of their life, if that unfortunately ever comes. It probably won't, but what if it does? And having been through a few things myself, and knowing folks that I've trained who've been through some things themselves, boy, I tell you, I'm so grateful for the training I had and that I forced myself into. But every time the motivation was love. Same thing with my students. At least that's the hope is there. Is your training, your thought process, your reason for carrying a gun based on love? If it's not, when it comes to court, right? When you've got to live with yourself afterwards, if it's based on rage, frustration, anger, jealousy, something, and I'm not talking just guns, your defensive tools, like the pepper spray. I carry POM, P-O-M, POM. I carry pepper spray everywhere I go. If I ever pull that thing and use it, It's based on love. Yeah, there's maybe some fear involved or something like that. I've got to defend somebody, but it's based on love, right? If I ever have to pull a gun, defense of life, and I've had to do that multiple times, it's based on love. General love for my fellow human being, for my family, for myself and the family who needs me, right? If that's not your motivation, you might be basing it based on wrong things. I kind of think that we as defenders probably should pull out mentally our motivations for why we're doing what we're doing and examine the motivations. Not just the path of our training if we're doing that, but the motivation of why. And maybe sometimes it's time to settle that with your God. Settle that with your soul and re-examine it, reaffirm it, solidify it once again, what you're doing and why. And I submit to you, if you do that and you keep it fresh within your heart, that it's truly based on love. Biblical love, general love, whatever it is you ascribe to, but truly for love, yourself and others, because you deserve to live if ever attacked, right? Maliciously by people who mean bad things. Those you love, they deserve to live. If it's not based on that, bad things can happen. And sometimes I think we in the gun crowd, the gun world, kind of a gun guy, I mean, we oftentimes get so involved in the cool guy factor and the raw of it all, and woo, the fun, you name it. That's great. But the true basis better be love. So just a thought, I wanted to bring that up to you. Everything we do based in Defenders is based on love. Everything. I know it sounds weird. It doesn't sound right in the gun crowd, the warrior community, the police community sometimes we talk about it. But I know as a cop, we used to sit around and we talk about this on occasion. And when it really came down to it, every one of those boys and girls in blue that I was sitting with, my brothers and sisters, every one of them, yeah, hard, tough, cynical, oftentimes cops, because we've seen and done so much day in, day out, wading through the blood and the hate and the gore and the meanness of humanity day in, day out, changes you. But when you really reach inside and see their soul and you get to know those boys and girls the way I had the honor to do them for over a decade as a police officer too, I saw the heart of love every time behind those that I affiliated with, that spent time with, and I just walked away in awe of these people all the time. Because even as crusty and as tough as those people are, it's love. We have a guy that helps train sometimes with Defenders. He's not been with us for a little while because he went and did some stuff overseas, and now he's down in Texas playing around a little bit right now. Well, the toughest warriors you'll ever meet, right? One of America's greatest warriors. He's hard, tough, strong man. Oh, he's a good man. Oh, he's a brother. I miss him terribly. But when you get past that hard, strong exterior of that, just, if I could tell you about this guy, one of America's greatest warriors, I found that there was a gentle soul inside, a gentle heart, a heart that was full of love. And I knew right then and there that guy, I can emulate him. I want to spend time with him. I can try to be his brother. We can be great friends, because everything he does, as high skilled as he was, as trained as he was in here, despite the hard exterior he put on, everything he did was based on love. I ask the same thing for you. What's the basis for your motivation for training, for carrying a gun? It better be love for the defense of life. All right, Adam Lynch, Defenders USA. Come to training sometimes or give us a call. We'll point you to some other really good trainers that are across the U.S., but we'd love to have you. Take care.